Here are all the top posts from the TIFU subreddit. Today I effed up by buying everyone an Ancestry DNA kit and ruining Christmas. Earlier this year, Ancestry DNA had a sale on their kit. I thought it would be a great gift idea, so I bought 6 of them for Christmas presents. Today my family got together to exchange presents for our Christmas Eve tradition, and I gave my mom, dad, brother, and 2 sisters each a kit. As soon as everyone opened their gift at the same time, my mom started freaking out. She told us how she didn't want us taking them because they had unsafe chemicals. We explained to her how there were actually no chemicals, but we could tell she was still flustered. Later she started trying to convince us that only one of us kids need to take it since we will all have the same results and to resell extra kits to save money. Fast forward, our parents have been fighting upstairs for the past hour, and we are downstairs trying to figure out who has a different dad. TLDR, I bought everyone in my family Ancestry DNA kit for Christmas. My mom started freaking. Now our parents are fighting and my dad might not be my dad. Update: thank you so much for all the love and support. My sisters, brother and I have not yet decided if we are going to take the test. No matter what the results are, we will still love each other, and our parents no matter what. Update: 2 Christmas isn't ruined. My AFU actually turned into a Christmas miracle. Turns out my sister's father passed away shortly after she was born. A good friend of my mom's was able to help her through the darkest time in her life, and they went on to fall in love and create the rest of our family. They never told us because of how hard it was for my mom. Last night she was strong enough to share stories and photos with us for the first time, and it truly brought us even closer together as a family. This is a Christmas we will never forget. And yes, we are all excited to get our test results. Merry Christmas everyone. Feliz not your dad. Today I effed up by living in a dark bedroom for 6 years. The overhead fan in our bedroom uses one of those compact halogen light bulbs. 6 years ago the bulb burned out and got really dim, just barely aglow. I bought a replacement bulb, but when I put that one in it was also barely lighting up, so I realized the unit was bad. The fan still worked great. It literally is the best fan I've ever had because it moves a ton of air and is super quiet. The fan had also been a gift when we moved into our house. The unit cost over $400, so I didn't really want to replace it, even though our bedroom doesn't get much natural light, so it is pretty dark. So since then, over the years, my wife and I have had to make do with no overhead light. We open the windows during the day, and at night use a combination of bedside lamps and the bathroom light. It's never really as good of lighting as an overhead lamp, so I keep some flashlights up there for when we are cleaning or looking for something, etc. After 6 years of living in the dark, this winter I just decided I would replace the damn thing. But before I did, I decided to try one last time with another bulb because, however unlikely, it's possible both bulbs I had tried were bad. So I'm up there installing the new bulb, grab the remote. The fan has a remote, and as I'm turning the light on I realize the goddamn thing is dimmable. For 6 fucking years we lived with the inconvenience of no overhead light, and the whole time it was just because the damn thing was set to dim. Fuck me. TLDR. For 6 years I lived with no bedroom light because the overhead lamp was broken, but turns out it was fine and it was just set to a dim setting the whole time. Today I effed up by accidentally getting sexual with my dentist, again. I'm a 32-year-old woman who can never go back to my new dentist after 2 visits because I'm an idiot. My dentist is a very nice and professional man. Our first appointment was going pretty smoothly until he made some innocuous remark about us being strangers. My immediate reply was, "Oh, you're not a stranger. You've been inside of my mouth for 20 minutes. I did not intend to make a sexual joke." His face turned red and he was clearly embarrassed, but he continued on like a true professional, and we were probably both relieved when the appointment was over. I had my second dentist appointment today. I actually mentally prepared myself to be a model patient who didn't say anything weird. Thank you very much. He had been working in my mouth for about 5 minutes when he started to seem really uncomfortable or something. His face was red and he was breathing a little heavier. I was a bit concerned and also confused. Like, how could I have embarrassed him this time? I had hardly spoken. So he keeps working in there, and then I realize what the hell is happening. My dentist was wearing grape-flavored gloves. I had been absent-mindedly licking his fingers the whole time. Never going back. TLDR, today I fucked up by licking my dentist. Today I effed up by sending nudes to my employee group chat. Well, I recently started a new job about 5 to 6 months ago, doing some tech work, trying not to be too specific. With that being said, I'm pretty young, 24, definitely the youngest that works there by far. I also mostly work with other men, 30 to 40. We have a group me for the store I work at, which includes the owner, the manager and 5 to 6 other employees. The previous night I had been feeling a little frisky and desired to take some pictures/videos for the guy that I was with at the time. No biggie, right? The next morning I had work, go in as normal, pretty busy day actually. Noon rolls around and I needed to post a picture to the group about an issue I was having with a computer I was working on. I typed what I needed to, said click the camera roll icon, and just as I clicked the picture, a customer came up and started asking me a question. I hit send without thinking and go on about my day. I should also probably say that by this time I was working alone and closing, so no one else was around. The customer who came in kept me pretty busy for 30 to 45 minutes. When they finally left, I went to check my phone and saw I had a bunch of missed calls from my boss. At first I thought he was just calling me about the question I had. While the phone was ringing, I went back to look at the group. To my horror, I clicked not just a picture from the night before, but the whole damn video. My heart dropped instantly when I realized what happened. My boss picked up the phone. He began questioning me about what my intentions were with the video and that has never had anyone do such a disrespectful act in the company before. I tried to explain, but needless to say that was my last day working there. Lol, on the bright side, the coworker I had a crush on finally got his attention, woman shrugging, smiley face. TLDR, tried to send a picture of a customer's problem to my employee group. Turns out I sent an entire nude video of myself, still got the guy in the end. Edit, since it stopped climbing, fuck it. Here's the video. Today I effed up by giving my son permission to beat his bully's ass. My son was born with a condition called pectus excavatum. In layman's terms, his chest is sunken in. His condition was so bad that he only had 2.5 inches between his sternum and his spine, and his heart and lungs were bruised because of it. In December, he had surgery to correct it, and they put 2 nickel bars in his chest to give it space and train his bones to grow correctly. About 3 weeks after his surgery, a kid punched him and dislodged the top bar, and he had to have another surgery to put the bar back in place. The kid has been through a lot. Well, the doctor cleared him for most activity last week, just no skateboarding or bike riding, but he could now lift his backpack and go hang out with friends and play pickup, non-contact sports. Unbeknownst to me, a kid in his class had been bullying him all semester. And because my son was afraid of getting hit again, he just took it. Well, the evening he was cleared, he came to me and said, "Dad, I'm cleared now. A kid has been bullying me and hitting me for months. Can I kick his ass?" Well, my son isn't really a fighter. Has fought with his brothers but never anyone else, and has always gotten his ass kicked. So I just figured he was just talking. But this is the first I had heard about the bullying, and I was concerned. I could tell he was distressed about the situation, so I told him to knock the fucker out. He just nodded and went to his room. Now, his older brother is a tough sob. He had a traumatic brain injury 2 years ago and he missed a year of school, so he's in the same grade and coincidentally takes the same class. I talked to him about it and told him to handle it but don't get in trouble. He told me that the kid walks in every day and punches my son in the head. I asked him why he allowed that to happen, and he said he wanted his brother to get tough, and once he was tired of getting hit, he would do something about it. While I kinda agree with his thinking, I instructed him to handle it without getting in trouble. The next morning I took them both to school, then drove back home to get my younger daughter, who goes to a different school that starts later. On the way to take her to school, my wife calls me. "Have you taken XXXXX to school yet?" "Well, after you do, go pick up your son. He got in a fight." I just assumed it was my oldest son. Imagine my surprise when I walked into the school office to see my younger son with a grin from ear to ear. He was beaming. He pointed to another kid sitting in a chair holding an ice pack on his face. I warned him. I was so proud. He had walked into class, sat down, and the kid popped him in the head like always. My older son got up to intervene, and before he could, my son decked the kid with one punch. He said the kid was bawling on the floor and that it was the best day of his life. He got suspended for 3 days. TLDR, I gave my son permission to beat up his bully because I didn't think he would, and he did it. Today I effed up by chilling at my friend's place while she wasn't home. My friend Jenna moved into a nice, new condo last month, and I finally got a chance to check it out for the first time today. I ended up arriving before she got home from work, so she told me to let myself in with the spare key under the potted plant and to make myself comfortable. I made myself a sandwich and was meandering around eating and checking out her swanky new place when the front door opened and a really large and unfamiliar man with a duffel bag came in. Dude was intimidating and I'm a 4 feet 11 inches woman, so I was immediately scared. He looked shocked to see me. I'm looking at his duffel bag and realizing that I surprised some piece of shit burglar. I panicked and threw my sandwich at his face and then locked myself in the bedroom. I'm shaking and he pounds on the door yelling at me to get the fuck out. I start screaming at him to get the fuck out and that I'm calling the police. Total bluff because I didn't have my phone. He then yells back that he is calling the police on me. This gives me pause. At this point, I look around and realize the bedroom I'm in definitely appears to be of the male persuasion. I ask him through the door if he knows Jenna last name. He tells me yes, she is his next door neighbor. Well, apparently, Jenna's neighbor also keeps a spare key under a potted plant. So, today I fucked up by letting myself into my friend's neighbor's place, smacking him in the face with his own sandwich and then screaming at him to get the fuck out of his house. TLDR, today I fucked up by wasting a sandwich. You have been visited by the doggo of good times. For good times increase, comment with, cheers doggo.